Northern Ontarians are so abandoned that 2 out of the 4 platforms have released plans for Northern Ontario, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome back to the Freedom Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie A.B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are here doing daily election coverage, okay? From all of the walks of the internet, like podcasts to audiobooks to Twitter to TikTok and everything in between. I am here to cover what the media will not. And maybe some commentary on what the media is doing, because they're always being shady. So if that interests you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Really helps me get my video out there, because my government actively suppresses my voice. They don't like me very much. So if that interests you, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. So I've already recorded this, but for some reason, the sound keeps not working. I have no idea why, but this is my least controversial video I've done yet. It is literally about Northern Ontario, because you guys know I moved here 3 years ago, and I didn't want to just come here and be from Southern Ontario. I wanted to, buy local. I'm very passionate about the area, and then I learned a lot about the area when I got here, like that Cobalt, Ontario was once bigger than Toronto, Ontario. The first stock exchange was in Cobalt, Ontario. And basically that Northern Ontario was America's Route 66. We used to be booming with mining and logging and all of these different things. And then everybody picked up shop and left us. And now we have all these communities that could be fixed up and, made into even bigger little communities for people, but no one seems to want to invest in Northern Ontario. And I've been wondering why for so long. And then another reason why I wanted to vote for Pierre was learning about all of the red tape and why people aren't investing, because I couldn't figure out why Cobalt, Ontario wasn't one of our main sources of getting cobalt for these electric vehicles. That's when I realized. But then I realized why people do vote NDP up here, and it's because a lot of companies do come up here, exploit the land, and pretty much abandon us. So there are 2 sides, and I'm here to cover it because everything has nuance. Imagine that. And not everything's black and white like this Black Parade sweater that I own. So let's hear Jagmeet Singh's plan. Okay, I've done this so many times, and it's going to annoy me the same each time.
Pointed out, we were able to deliver these things, these important advanced care, dental care. So today I'm proud to be able to unveil our Northern Ontario platform, a platform to talk about how we can make life better in the North and our commitments to Northerners.
I'm here to
so I want to start with healthcare. We know that to build a strong North, people need access to healthcare. And for a lot of people, as Nicole mentioned, you can't find a family doctor. You can't access the care you need. So what our commitment is, we're going to train Northerners to become physicians. We're going to make sure Northerners... we want people to be able to stay in their communities. What better way to ensure that family physicians, that doctors stay in the North, if we train Northerners to become those physicians?
Do you not think that Northern Ontario has already thought of that? The only reason why we have doctors at our local hospital is because of the school in Haleyberry. There are lots of nursing and doctor programs up here because that's what the idea is. And that's not what happens. That's not what happens. People don't want to stay in Northern Ontario because everything is too damn expensive. And then you tax people into oblivion. Not to mention, there's still mandates happening. And we have doctors who have lost their license for keeping their patients' files confidential during COVID. So, yeah.
And we invest...
There's already been investments.
And we invest in regional medical schools to train those Northern physicians. So that's one of our major commitments, along with ensuring for Indigenous justice that we fully implement Jordan's principle. So our commitment, we've got many commitments, but one of them is we're going to fix Nutrition North. It's not working.
I don't know what that is.
We'll make sure it actually delivers impose price caps for grocery essentials on those large corporate grocery stores to bring down the price of food in the north.
This about to make me mad for real. You know that Kanye meme? Okay, first of all, oh my gosh, there's a set price for Ontario apparently, okay? Because in Halifax or in Nova Scotia, milk is more expensive than it is in Ontario and Northern Ontario. Because I thought that groceries would be more expensive. It was literally on my con list of moving to Northern Ontario, but they're not. They are in little communities like mine, because I'm about to explain something to you guys, okay? So hold on, hear me out. So I am 5 minutes away from my local little Loblaws. So each little town is going to have a Food Basics, our compliments or Loblaws, okay? And then it's going to be owned by somebody. This one happens to be owned by my neighbor. I'm pretty sure the set prices for these little Loblaw and our compliments grocery stores is the same, because they're just as expensive in Dorchester and Belmont, because those are the two communities that I lived in down south. And I obviously made the drive to Elmer to go to No Frills to get the cheaper groceries. And then No Frills is the same prices all over Ontario. Walmart, same prices all over Ontario. So what he's talking about doesn't make any sense to me, because we don't have an upcharge in Northern Ontario. What costs so much is our carbon tax, because especially for farmers up here, we have to start seeds indoors way earlier. Like right now I am using, I guess like most farmers have greenhouses and stuff, but for me, it costs us so much money to even start my seeds because of the carbon tax. Now, this might be the first year in a while that we don't feel me starting seeds because the consumer carbon tax has been cut. But our biggest thing is having to heat our homes up here and how much taxes are. He says that he wants to, hold on, we'll listen to the next part.
A major part of our plan for the North is we need to invest in infrastructure in the North. Now, investing in this infrastructure is about equity. It's about fairness. It's also about safety and security. And it's also about economic development. Like, how can you get in and out of communities and move products around if there's not the right roads, the right infrastructure? So our commitments, we're going to twin across Canada, Trans-Canada. We're also going to twin highways 7 and 11 to make sure these...
He's going to twin the 11. Okay. Tyler, okay, so if you're from Northern Ontario and you're watching this, please tell me. Tyler says that people up here do say they want to twin the 11. I cannot imagine that being anything other than a 50-year project. First of all, number one, this is what I'm talking about when he has these grandiose plans. What the heck? Have you looked at the 11 past North Bay? Because it's twinned up until North Bay. Have you? Have you looked at the 11 past North Bay? Have you looked at Temagami? Sometimes I don't even know how the 11 exists. I am literally sometimes on the 11 and there is me and a guardrail up to my waist in the way of me falling off of a fucking cliff. Okay? That's when I'm praying that I don't run into that no transport runs into me, that there's no transport in front of me, okay? Unless you are planning to spend billions of dollars, how do you plan on twinning the 11? I just want to know. And if people think, first of all, I think that people want safe drivers. I think we want safe trucks and we want safe drivers. And to do that, we need to go back to how easy is it to get your licensing. Okay, enough.
That's going to make those highways safer. It's going to make it easier for people to get around the communities in the north. And for a lot of more isolated communities, their only real way to move products in and out is through winter roads. But with the climate change and the unpredictability around that, that season is getting shorter and shorter and more unpredictable.
We still have, it was snowing this morning. It's April 15th. Yeah, it's April 15th. It was snowing this morning. Okay. Also, once again, when you move to Northern Ontario, you have to know something. You have to move close to the 11, okay? And your best bet is to live on a road that is semi-busy because you know that road will be plowed. Now, that's what they need. We have roads like, okay, so let me explain something. My road to one place is very turny, very rough road in the winter, never really quite taken care of in the winter. Always, if it's plowed, it's last. It's just a bad road. It is decently busy, so I'm kind of surprised that it's that whatever, but not a lot of people work over there, so I see it. But then the main road, the 11 to Kirkland Lake, that is always plowed. So what we need is municipalities to have to be able to hire more snowplows. That's what we need, because these roads are horrible. No matter what, in Northern Ontario, the roads will be warped from how cold it gets to how hot it gets and how short of a time. That's what needs to be taken care of. It's a lot of municipal and provincial issues, not federal.
So these communities need all season roads, permanent roads to be able to get in and out of those communities.
We do, but that's provincial municipal.
And finally, another element of our plan for the North is to support the Francophone communities in the North. The North has a strong community of French-speaking folks, of Francophones who are proud that they speak French. Well, these Northerners that are Francophone need to be able to access their services.
No, here's the thing. I don't know who's telling him this. I didn't follow my colonoscopy properly because it was given to me in French. Yeah. I'm not kidding, you guys. I started my colonoscopy prep late. And then I realized I could translate it on my phone. I'm telling you guys, there's no place that you can go in Northern Ontario where people don't speak French. Nowhere. Unless, nowhere really. Unless it's a gas station or a fast food place. But that's because there's new people who are just learning English, let alone French. So that's really the only time you can't. But like all of the services, all of our hospitals, all of our schools, everything has French options because we are very much Francophone up here. Holy crap. It was actually a really big culture shock. So anyways, that's Jagmeet Singh's plan. Now, Pierre Poilievre's plan is to open up the Ring of Fire, which obviously Jagmeet Singh does not plan on doing. The Ring of Fire is a bunch of minerals found to be able to export and use ourselves for things like green energy, just energy. I don't want to call anything green energy, but that's what the left wants, is green energy. Well, this is going to provide us and other countries with green energy. And then he wants to use those tax dollars and give them to the municipalities and Northern Ontarian communities and Indigenous communities to do what they need to do with it. Okay? That's a way better plan. That's a way better plan to allow these things to go through, to make sure that we stay safe. All of this red tape from the government, it's never made sense to me why we have all of these things up here and we're extracting it from different countries and then bringing it here. That's literally using more CO2 emissions. But I just want to say, this is how abandoned Northern Ontario is. This is how abandoned Northern Ontario is, that two of these platforms, and if Mark Carney covers Northern Ontario, I'll release another one with updated all three. And I won't go through like Jagmeet's plan the way I did. I'll just list it and say why it's dumb. But yeah, I agree. Like, I just don't understand. The left-leaning people always say, well, none of those things that you're complaining about is federal. They're all provincial. And then the things that the NDP always want to do always is rooted in municipal, like, communities or provincial jurisdiction. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And here's how I'm going to let you guys know why Pierre's plan overall will work for Northern Ontario. We need crime stopped. We need our crime and drug issues to go away because that's what plagues our community. We need criminals to stay in jail because everyone loves to send their criminals to Northern Ontario. So a lot of the other things that Pierre Poilievre wants to do will benefit Northern Ontario, and besides the plans that he has for Northern Ontario. And that's why I obviously will be voting for Pierre Poilievre, or Gary Keller is my riding guy. So I'm going to let you guys know what my plan would be, just real quick. If I was in charge of Northern Ontario, as Queen of Northern Ontario, I would invest in tourism. There is no reason why we shouldn't have those viral videos. 5 hours north of Toronto, you're going to find this Devil's Rock. This was the place where the Hardy Boys author was living. We have so many cool things up here that we could do. Cobalt alone should be part of our curriculum for environmental rights alone. We should have field trips to Cobalt, Ontario, and learn why it is important to care about the land, and learn why it is important to care about the workers. Because when you step into that town, you will feel a weird presence around you. I would make the Haley Berry Mansion a indoor water park for families, because we have nothing. I would also do Pierre's plan. I would do Pierre's plan. I would give our businesses tax breaks, like farmers, because we are in an area up north where it looks like Southern Ontario. It's like the farming of up north. Like, I live around a bunch of Amish people, because it's like a farming area. I would actually give tax breaks to people south or north of North Bay. It's fucking hard to live up here, okay? I would also give tax breaks to families in the north if we care about the environment. Give tax breaks to all the families up north who have one person working at the house, because there can't be two, because the one person at the house that is working 12-hour shifts all the time at either a mine or a logging mill. Oh, and no taxes on overtime, because if you're in a mine or a logging mill and you are risking your damn life every single day to put money on the table for your family, I'm sorry, but that overtime should be all banked, baby. And that's the plans for Northern Ontario, and my plan if I ever became Queen of Northern Ontario. So vote for Jamie. Don't vote for me. Vote for Gary Keller, because I am not in politics for a reason. Okay, I criticize the government. I am not part of it. But here's the thing, is that it's like a really hard thing to decide if I want to or not, because I do. But I also think that I have a voice enough that, you know, if Mark Carney gets in, I'm going to jail. But if C11 goes away, I do think that my voice is, like, I have a personality enough to carry me as someone who makes content for the right reasons. And, you know, I'm sick because my government. Oh, and I would lift the mandates. Queen of Ontario would lift the mandates. So anyways, guys, I am on to make my next video, and I will talk to you later. Bye. What do you want to see for Northern Ontario? Sorry, I had to say that. What do you want to see for Northern Ontario?